Supervisor Locke, the invocation.
We are of diverse opinion, but we wish to mend our differences and reach an agreement satisfactory to all. Please share a little of your wisdom with us. Thank you for your blessing tonight. Amen. And happy birthday to Mary Beth. I said amen first. I said amen first.
Supervisor Knitsky, would you bring the board or adopt the agenda?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I ask for the approval of tonight's agenda.
Then moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak on anything on the agenda this evening? Now is your chance to talk. Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak on anything on the agenda? Okay, that portion of the meeting will be closed. Reports from the claims from the clerk.
We have a notice of claim from David Lewis for damage to his car's windshield caused by a stone that came off the back of a county vehicle, referred to the Personnel and Finance Committee. Petition for a zoning amendment from Kim L. Walsh in the town of Neenah, requesting a zoning change from A2 with wetlands to R1 with no wetlands for residential lots, referred to Planning and Zoning. Petition for a text amendment to Article 15 of Chapter 23 of the Winnebago County Erosion Control Code. This is submitted by Carrie Rowe, the zoning administrator, and referred to Planning and Zoning. A petition from Jean Creasy in the town of Wolf River, requesting a zoning change from A2 to R1 for residential purposes, referred to Planning and Zoning. And a petition from James Fuchs in the town of Algoma, requesting a zoning change from A2 to B3 for educational structure purposes. And that's also referred to Planning and Zoning. That's all.
Reports from committees, commissions, and boards. Does any committees? Supervisor Egan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There will be a legislative committee next Monday out at the Coughlin Center at 8:30. So come if you'd like to listen to the legislators and the other things on the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Approval of the proceedings from December 19th, 2017 county board meeting. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. County executives report.
I want to inform the board that the CGI videos, the videos that were prepared for us for free, but where they sold advertising to support them on the CGI website, and our county website now provides a link to those videos. They're now available. If you go to the county's website, on the right side of the page, there's a series of titles, and you can click on any of those titles and see a very short video about the county. There are some possible changes still coming to the videos, and if you notice anything, you can make a note of it, and we'll have them change, but probably not until the next time they update them. But I think they actually do give a very positive impression of the county. To a certain extent, they were shaped by what video footage was available, although John Fink did arrange for a very dynamic trip through the county over 2 days, trying to get some fill-in from portions of the county where we didn't have, videos available through the Travelers Bureau or other agencies. But I think you'll like what you'll see, and a lot of the county is displayed on those sites. I've got a couple items to mention. One is that we've had a boiler, actually 2 boilers, fail at the engineering building on UW Fox Valley's campus, and that apparently the control panels are no longer available for those units. So there's going to be a repair needed. And unfortunately, I first became aware of this on Thursday or Friday of last week, and we were having such bitter cold temperatures that with only one boiler operating properly in the building, the temperature in the building had dropped to 40 degrees. And we actually had some water damage from the sprinkler system where a pipe froze. So I felt I had no choice but to tell them that they can go forward with what's needed to either repair or replace the boilers, because we can't risk the damage that would occur to that building from a delay when we're facing these cold temperatures. Today the temperature's a little higher, and I'm sure they're okay. But another sub-zero day, and it's unclear what damage the building might sustain. I do have just a couple other items I want to mention real quickly. It's usually my custom to point out some of the resolutions and urge support. But I do want to point out the fact that we're receiving money under the last resolution, $35,000, and that's a contribution from the actually, it's not. It's an additional application of money for the Waukah Avenue project, but we did receive a contribution of roughly that amount from the EAA that was a purely voluntary contribution towards the project. The other item I just want to clarify, and that's the second to last resolution, 12018, 238-12018, and that's with regard to furnishings for child support. I just want to make it clear that the description there of what's happening is that, child support is largely funded by the state. And after reimbursements from the state, the cost to us of the furnishings is $0. So the cost to the county is zero. The furnishings still cost money, but that's largely funded by the state. And that's all I have for the agenda. I do have some appointments. I have 9 people that are going to be appointed or reappointed to the Local Emergency Planning Commission. Yeah, okay. And these are for 3-year terms to expire December 31st, 2020. The names are Tracy Warren, Janelle Tatro, Todd Sweeney, Greg Gibbons, Nick Barden, Ray Polonen, Beth Erdman, Mark Butcher, and Rep. Mike Rohrcast.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Supervisor Ramos, Supervisor Robel, Supervisor Warnke, and Supervisor Kreischer had asked to be excused from this evening's meeting. At this time, I would like to ask Paul Sundquist and Amy Albright. They're going to be given a report on the Oshkosh Convention and Visitors Bureau and on the East Central Wisconsin Regional IPBEC Board.
Thank you, Mr. Albrecht. Thank you, Mr. Albrecht. It's nice to see some familiar faces in the group tonight. I would like to thank the Winnebago County as well as the WCA, the Wisconsin County Association, for providing an umbrella under which 3 counties can work for the joint marketing of tourism. We have an asset in these counties. That asset starts in Menasha in the north and goes from Fond du Lac to the south. From these, it goes from Stockbridge all the way over to the other side of Winneconne and Omro. And in that asset, there's roughly 260-some square miles of water. We have enough water there, if we ever want to. We would have enough water to build a ditch 1 mile wide to the average depth it is now all the way to the other side of Minneapolis. It's an asset that we have that perhaps a lot of us didn't know we have because we're so familiar with it. We see it every day. We take it for granted. There are many states that would love to have an asset like this. I always thought that when Nebraska can put a tourist destination in I-80, we have a heck of an asset here. This is an asset, it's the water that brings people. As you know, the water is a very important thing. Water's become, as you've heard, water is will become the new oil. Fresh water is less and less, there's less and less of it, and we're able to utilize it for many reasons. One of them is for tourism. So what we did is we got together and we said, what are we going to do with this? How are we going to market it? And so we had to give ourselves a name, and after a lot of searching, we decided to call ourselves the Endless Shores. Endless Shores, I guess it conjures up a lot of things to a lot of people, but it's something that we're becoming known as. If you want to see what we look like, check us out on Google. Google Endless Shores, and hopefully you'll find out a lot. But again, so that's what we're calling ourselves, and it's called Endless Shores because we want to have an umbrella, a name that we can all fit under. All 3 counties fit under this because we all have something in common. And that is the reason we're calling ourselves this Endless Shores, because it's something we all share together. And we're all sharing this, and we're all getting together because we're all in the same boat on these Endless Shores. You know, we're all in the same boat. So I said to the final guys, why don't we all just grab an oar and row together? You know? It's kind of a simple thing. Hey, we all got, you know, it's you row together, you pull together instead of working separately. You know, Paul Harvey, I don't know if you remember Paul Harvey, but Paul Harvey was a commentator of years back, and he said something like this. He said, you know, you take 1 and 1, you add them up, you get 2. He said, but you put them together, you get 11. That's synergism. And that's what we got with the Endless Shores. Just an example of that, when the state had its last big downturn for tourism, the state was off 12%. Our Endless Shores, or what was our 3 counties working together at that time, we were down less than half of that. Not only that, we came back quicker and better. Just to give you some information as to what we do and how big we are, in our 3 counties, in 16 was the last time, because we don't have 17, but the last time we kept count was 16, there was $414 million in direct spending in our counties. And that translated to not only the $414 million in spending, but that was almost 8,900, almost 9,000 jobs that it provided. So it provided dollars coming in as well as jobs. The other thing, and something else I would like to talk about too, and that is when you have this thing called tourism, not only does it provide jobs, but it also provides areas, hey, people like this. You know, it's always said that the CEO, the company goes where the CEO wants to live. And that's happened here, and we've seen it happen here. But more importantly, now what we're starting to see is people are looking for people to fill these jobs. And it's where do the people want to live? So that's our next thing. The state of Wisconsin, as you know, is trying to bring people in from Illinois to work here. You know, I've always thought, boy, this wouldn't be a bad place to live. I think I'd like to stay here. So this is what we're looking for, and this is one of the things that tourism brings to our communities. Anyway, so that's just basically a few observations I wanted to share with you. But again, I had to thank the Winnebago County for their help, and the WCA. They have given us the umbrella from which to work under, and we are so blessed and happy to have these people. And with that, I would like to introduce, if I might, the newest addition to our community, one of our counties, Winnebago County, of course, and we have a new director of the CVB, and we're very happy to have our rising star, if you will, Amy Albright, and we are so happy. And Amy, could we have a few words from you, please? Because we're very happy to have her, and I think she's doing a good job trying to represent all of Winnebago County. Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. So as Paul mentioned, I'm Amy Albright. A couple familiar faces. And thank you to Paul for being such an advocate for tourism in our county as well as our joint counties. I spent most of my career at the YMCA, so we felt like the Y was a little bit of the tourism piece, but this is sort of the big deal, right? So this is everybody. But I just want to thank this board and Winnebago County for having the foresight to maintain the things that keep tourism thriving in our county. Particularly the EAA and the Sunnyview Expo Center where Life Fest takes place. Those two being our biggest events in Winnebago County, bring major economic impact and really just countless benefits to our community. Also, of course, want to add in the Winnebago County Park, which hosts many events that people don't even know that happen. Quite frankly, Winnebago County hosts over 1,000 events a year, and I'm not going to lie, I didn't know half of them. I mean, some of the things that come into our city, we just found out there was a cement people convention that came into town, and they're out spending money in our town, and there is a group for almost every anything you can think of, and they're coming to use our convention center and really bringing dollars into our county. The CVB really values our relationship with the staff of the county. We're very excited about the possibilities of things that can come to Sunnyview Expo Center with the new stage. Our staff is working very closely with the county staff to look at all the different options of exciting things that really could bring more economic impact to our community. I did provide a handout, and I don't need to read it out to you because you have this, but I really challenge you to share some of these numbers with people if you're at a party or on social media, just with your neighbors about really the economic impact that tourism brings to our county. I think that gets kind of forgotten. Sometimes people think, oh, these fests are kind of annoying, you know, the roads get closed and this happens. But when you really look at the numbers and look at visitor spending in Winnebago County in 2016 was almost $250 million, it just can't be debated how important tourism is. So, you know, take a look at this. These are numbers that we get every year. So we'll get the 2017 numbers this May, and then we'll be sharing those. But one of our goals at the Bureau is to really educate as many people as we can about the importance of tourism and why we need to keep growing that base. Paul and I wanted to open it up if there were any questions.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, any questions? I mean, you know, just in Winnebago County, you know, tourism, they bring in about $240-some million a year every year. The average, as you well, the average home would be $650 more in taxes if it wasn't for tourism. So we're very happy to have tourism, and it's more than putting heads in beds. You know, it's getting to bring people into the community, hopefully the right people that can stay here, build homes, futures, and provide us with more economic success, because this is what we're looking for today. People that not only are coming to play, and you know, if they come to play, fine. They come to play, they spend their money, and they go back home, and they have to worry about their social responsibilities back home. So back home's got to fund everything. So when they drop off their money, we're happy to see them. But now we're getting to the point where we're just happy to see if we get some good ones, to have them stay. So anyway, if there are any questions from anyone?
Nope. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you,
Amy.
Mr. Albeck. Thank you again. It's so nice to see so many smiling faces again, and you guys have a good one. Good luck. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Zoning reports and ordinances. Report number 1, Sheila R. and William H. Schultz, Town of Neenah, tax parcel number 010-0178-0605. Supervisor Fari.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move for approval of zoning report number 1.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. A mandatory ordinance number 010118. Supervisor Farley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move for mandatory ordinance number 010118.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Report number 2. Thomason Turf LLC, Town of Wolf River, tax parcel number 032-0096-01, 032-0096-02. Supervisor Egan.
Chairman, I move for report number 2.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. A mandatory ordinance number 0102, rezoning from R1 rural residential to R2B3 suburban low density residential regional business. Supervisor Egan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move for the approval of mandatory ordinance number 010218.
Then moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Report number 3, Jane A. and John B. Youngworth, Town of Algoma, tax parcel number 002-0160-0201. Supervisor Rasmussen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move for report number 3.
Then moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. A mandatory ordinance number 01318. Supervisor Rasmussen.
Thank you. I move for a mandatory ordinance 010318.
Then moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. A mandatory ordinance number 01-0418, Town of Black Wolf, Michael Augsburger, to rezone from A2 to R1, tax parcel number 004-0496-07-02. Supervisor Keller.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move for approval of mandatory ordinance 010418.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. A mandatory ordinance number 01-0518, Town of Clayton, Ron Jankowski, from A2 to R1 for tax parcel number 006-04-05-04-01. Supervisor Farley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move for a mandatory ordinance number 5 on the behalf of the town of Clayton.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. A mandatory ordinance number 01-0618, Town of Utica, Jermaine Nelson, to rezone from A1 to A2 in RR for tax parcel numbers 024-0279. The next one is 024-0281. Next one is 024-0285. And the following one is 024-0286. Supervisor Egan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move for the approval of mandatory ordinance 010618.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. A mandatory ordinance number 0107, Town of Unica, Patrick Dodd, to rezone from R2 to RR to RR for tax parcel number 024-0197 and 024-0197, parent 1. Supervisor Egan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move for the approval of a mandatory ordinance 010718.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Resolutions and ordinances. Resolution number 232-12018, commendation for Charles E. Orenstein. Supervisor Rasmussen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move for resolution 232-12-2018. After working in the private sector for about 10 years, Chuck Orenstein came to Winnebago County as General County Supervisor in June 1990. To say he caught on quickly would be an understatement. Chuck was promoted to finance director only 6 months later. Chuck had a masterful understanding of the county budget and of the budget process. He could convey an understanding of budget issues that a CPA or a person without any accounting background could understand. He worked well with the county executive and with department heads to keep the county running smoothly. Chuck retired earlier this month. While he's playing golf and visiting family, he will also be greatly missed. Please join me in thanking him for his years of service to Winnebago County.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Commendation for Gina I. Vandenbranden. Supervisor Rasmussen.
Thank you. I move for Resolution 233-12-2018. Gina Vandenbranden retired this month as Financial Supervisor of the Human Services Department after 27 years with Winnebago County. Gina was an accountant with the Finance Department for 7 years before transferring to the Human Services Department, where she also worked as an accountant for 10 years before becoming a supervisor 10 years ago. While the department relied on Gina's skill and analytical thinking, she also had a caring focus on those persons supported by Human Services. Her strong values and principles, not just the bottom line, guided her work. She was dependable, very down to earth, took pride in her work, and valued the work of others. We are honored to have had the opportunity for Gina to serve our county citizens as a Winnebago County employee for 27 years. Please join me in saluting Gina for a job well done.
Supervisor Haig?
Sorry, it had come to my attention that I hadn't punched in, and maybe I did it twice.
Okay, thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Disallow claim of Henry L. Griesbach. Supervisor Rasmussen.
Thank you. I move for resolution number 234-12-2018. 1/2018, sorry.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 235-12-018. Approved donation of 32 trees by the Oshkosh Rotary and Oshkosh Rotary Southwest and E-Club of Northeast Wisconsin to help establish a Rotary display arboretum in Winnebago County Community Park. Supervisor Knitsky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move for the approval of resolution number 235-12018.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 236-12-018. Approved values of tax deeded property. Supervisor Rasmussen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move for resolution number 236-1/2018.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 237-12-018, grant driveway easement to Daniel L. Callis, Old County Highway E, Town of Rushford. I'll bring that forward to have my name on it. Is there a second or?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 238-12-018, appropriate $27,662 from the Winnebago County General Fund to the Winnebago County Child Support Agency, replacement of furniture and office cubicles. Supervisor Wingren.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move approval of Resolution 238-1/2018.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 239-12-018, authorize the appropriation of $35,000 from the General Capital Project Fund to cover the additional cost for the Waukau Avenue project. Call on Supervisor Farley to bring it in.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move for approval of Resolution 239-12-018.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, signify, Supervisor Bender.
I was just curious, was that 35,000 in addition to the 35,000 EA kicked in, or was it basically $70,000 over budget, or
It was
35?
70,000, and then what the EA, our portion was 35,000.
Okay.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Supervisor Knitsky again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that we adjourn until February 13th at 6 p.m.
Thank you. We are adjourned.